Hi everyone, today we're going to look at transversals and parallel lines, and hopefully this will clear up some of the misconceptions that we've had in class. So a line specifically that crosses two other lines is called a transversal, and there are relationships formed between the angles formed by the lines and the transversals. So here's a transversal, here are two other lines, and it's this situation that we're going to look at today. So when a transversal crosses two other lines, it creates some pairs of angles, and they've got specific names. So the first one we're going to look at are cointerior angles. Here's the transversal, here are the two other lines that it's crossed, and these angles here, or these angles here, are called cointerior angles. They're the ones between the two lines on one side of the transversal. Now, if you have the transversal and it cuts through two lines, and one of the angles is outside the lines that it's cut, and one of them's on the far side on the inside, these are called corresponding angles, and there's four of them. One here, one outside, one inside, one outside, one inside, one outside, one inside, one outside, one inside. Note that we're not talking about this one as being the inside angle, it's always the far one. And they are corresponding angles. Now, if they're between the two lines, and this is the transversal, and they're on opposite sides of the transversal, they're called alternate angles. So this one and this one are alternate, and similarly this one and this one are alternate. Now, once we've dealt with transversals crossing any two lines, we're going to look at a specific case when it crosses parallel lines. And parallel lines never meet. So they neither converge nor diverge. If this extends and this extends, it will never meet and it will never get further apart. And typically you put a little arrow on them to indicate that they are parallel. Now, cointerior, corresponding, and alternate angles have specific properties when crossing two parallel lines as opposed to crossing any two lines. So in the case of cointerior angles, so this angle and this angle are cointerior, this angle and this angle are cointerior, they're always going to add to 180 degrees. So this angle plus this angle will be 180 degrees if they are cointerior. Now, corresponding angles, so this one and this one outside, one inside, one outside, one inside, one outside, one inside, will always be equal. And if you look at them, they look the same. So that size of angle looks the same as that one. That bigger angle looks the same as that one. This smaller angle looks the same as that one. Corresponding angles are the same, are equal. And the same with alternate angles. This angle here, between the parallel lines, and this one on the other side of the transversal, are equal. And the same with this one and this one. Now, one way of remembering it is that this forms a C shape. I'll do it here. If I can find the right pen. Here it is. Oh, what is these? My poor room has been filled with dust, so if you can imagine that's a C shape. That's this one here. And if I do the orange one, that's this one here. So cointerior angles typically form that C shape. The F ones are a little bit harder to see. So if I do the blue one, it's if that's one of the parallel lines and that's the other one, that spot there would be here, that spot there would be here. Similarly for the brown one on the other side of it, let me see which one's brown. What colour is that? I don't know, whatever colour this is. It's black, I think. So for these two here, that would be that one. And that one, if you have a look at them, they kind of look like an upside down F. If I did this one down the bottom here, so this orange one, maybe that's this colour, I don't know. That would be this one and this one, so that's these two. And for the pink one, I think I've got a pink one. Let's do it in this one. This is the last one. That one and that one. And they're the parallel lines. Well, you kind of get the idea. Whereas this makes a C shape, this makes a F shape, and the alternate angles make a kind of Z shape. So Z shape, That's these two. And this shape makes this one. Remember, these are the parallel lines here. So if that helps, that's good. If it doesn't, just think about it the way I've described it. Now, we can use those properties to help determine unknown angles. So in this case, A and 36 are corresponding angles, therefore A must be 36 because these are parallel lines. In this case, we have two parallel lines, we have a transversal. These two angles therefore are alternate and they must be equal, therefore A must be 72 degrees. If we look at this one, two parallel lines are transversal, C shape. These are cointerior angles, therefore 180 takes 72. This remaining angle is 108. Now, we can use this in reverse. So if we don't know if they're parallel, if they satisfy the conditions for corresponding cointerior or alternate, we can then determine their parallel. So if I have a look at this, these are cointerior angles. If they add to 180 degrees, those two lines would be parallel. Given that they add to 170 degrees, we can determine that they're not parallel. With this one, these are alternate angles. Alternate angles, if these two lines here were parallel, they would be the same. They are the same, therefore they are parallel. In this case here, we've been given this angle out there and this angle over here. Now this angle plus this angle are supplementary. They must add to 180 degrees because they're on a line. So if that's 32, this one must be 180 take 32, which is 148. If that's 148, for these two lines here to be parallel, that would have to be the same as this, as their corresponding angles. Given that they're not corresponding angles, these can't be parallel. And there you go. Now, if you can do that, that's a fair bit of this part of the course. Remember the names of the angles, remember the names of the properties, and then don't forget that you can use your other geometry to also help you solve problems. So I hope that helps, and I'll see you soon. Bye.